Yes, sir.
What's going on, everyone? And welcome to the Double M Show in the Crib edition. As we are getting used to this, I don't want to call it new normal, but adjustment that we're all going through at the moment. This is the Double M Show, and you already know. Always to the left is Mr. Mike. Nice. What's the word, partner?
Another day, another Tuesday. Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. It's Double M,
Double M Tuesday.
Double M Tuesday. So it makes sense. Yeah, man. At home, quarantine edition, whatever you want to call it. We're back here once again, holding it down. There's one thing that you can look forward to on a Tuesday night is Double M having good conversations with y'all per usual.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And this is a great week. This is a great week for Double M because the next time you come on Double M, you'll be another year older, Mr. Mike Nice. So it's called, we pin this week every year, mechanic season. Mr. Mike Nice, how are you feeling, bro? Almost about to turn another year of life.
I mean, I'm grateful and thankful always. It doesn't matter to me. The situation right now that we're all in is tough. It's hard on everybody. Nobody's happy about it. And yes, would I want to be out and about somewhere, celebrating, having a good time with my people, my family, friends, loved ones? Sure, absolutely, without a doubt. Marv can attest to it. The last 3, 4, 5 years of my birthday have been
lit.
Have been some wild ones for sure.
They've been lit.
They've been a while.
They start off the summer, bro.
Get it right into the May and tourist season. And springtime really gets into it. The weather really starts to get good. So, my birthday falls on the right time. And this year, it's different. But at the same time, me personally, all I can say for sure is I'm happy. I'm grateful to still be here. And, that's all that really matters to me. So I'm going to find a way to enjoy it regardless. Regardless, I'm going to still enjoy my birthday.
Oh, trust me, you're going to enjoy your birthday, bro. We're going to make sure you get right on your birthday no matter what.
Boy.
Be prepared. I know you sampling whatever you're drinking right now. Just be
something light.
Just be prepared, bro.
Something light.
Be prepared for mechanic season because yes, this is going to be a live one. But here on Double M, we have a lot to talk about, like per usual. Once again, shout out to everyone who's watching on YouTube. Shout out to everyone who's watching on IG. You guys know how Double M works. We have conversations. You guys join the conversations. We read them out loud and we continue it on. But in order to have conversation, we need to have topics. Mr. Mike Nice.
Yes, sir.
What's on the playlist tonight, bro?
So once again, obviously, during this current time, we've been blessed to have The Last Dance airing on ESPN and like Marv and myself, keeping up with the episodes, watching everything, dissecting everything. And we want to dive into the episodes some more. So we're definitely going to do that. The last episodes, 7 and 8, the last 2 episodes that showed last Sunday night, had a lot. In my opinion, these 2 episodes that just passed 7 and 8 probably were 2 of the best episodes that have aired so far. But they all have been good. So we're definitely going to talk about that for sure. Also, New England Patriots schedule has been released, and we know what the upcoming 2020 season is going to look like. The New England Patriots in this new era, this post-Tom Brady era. We've talked a little bit about it, the schedule and what the record is going to look like. But we want to hear from you guys and your thoughts and opinions on the Patriots' upcoming schedule. Also, a tough story going out right now. Ahmaud Arbery, a young black male who was gunned down in the middle of the street off of mistaken identity. Whatever the case is, we want to talk about that situation. And it's not even only that situation. It's, the continued violence that is taking place on innocent, young black men out and about. We're definitely going to have that conversation here on this show because it's something that pertains definitely to Marv and I. And we want to hear from you guys, your thoughts and opinions on that as well. So a lot to talk about and much more, mechanic season. So I'm still hyped for my birthday. and good time and good vibes and everything. But we're definitely gonna dive into a lot.
Yes, for sure, man. So, episode 7 and 8, Mike pins those the best ones to come out, and for sure, it was definitely the most emotional episodes. I already came out. I said I think episode 7. You pin episode 7 against any documentary, just by itself. That episode by itself, and it's up there, man. It's raw, gritty, and it's starts off with a tough talk with Jordan and his father, the relationship Jordan had with his father, and then the manhunt that pursued within that, and Jordan's father being murdered and what happens with that story. They dive into there. Then you get into how Jordan was with his teammates. They brought up this young rookie with Scotty Perrell, and how Jordan used to just berate him and how tough he is. And Jordan got emotional about that too, saying, "Hey man, I never asked, my teammates to do anything I didn't do." And he's really, you see the love for the game and the passion that he has with that. And then episode 7, we dive into more of his competitiveness. 8, sorry. Yeah, episode 8, dive into more, and you see the series against how he won the championship against the the Sonics. We get into his retirement. Why did he retire? And things of that nature. So there's a lot. There was a lot jam-packed in those 2 episodes. And once again, you can't get your eyes off the TV. We praise this documentary every time, but it needs to be praised. Yeah. It has done an amazing job with the music, the montages. It keeps you engaged. I remember the first minutes of episode 7. I asked Mike, "Yo, what the hell's going on here?" I felt ready to lace them up. The music was pumping. It was getting into the playoffs, and you were just excited. You were just super excited that the last dance was starting. Jordan's about to enter the playoffs in 1998, and you're ready. And that's what that documentary does to you. So let's talk about start off with Jordan and his father, man, and that whole part of the show that they documented.
So, yeah, I mean, at the time when all of that was happening, I was 93, 92, 93. I was a young kid, so I mean, that was all big time news, but I was too young to really have any knowledge of what was really going on. And as I got older, and I got familiar with the story, I just always thought and knew, like, Jordan's father was murdered, and whatever happened following that, he retired, went to play baseball, ended up coming back. But they dove into some more, just like you said. I didn't even know that his father had been missing for like
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Nobody knew where this guy was for 3 weeks. And I mean, that right there in itself that's going to take a toll on anybody. I don't care if you're a superstar, athlete, celebrity, whatever the case, or, you're not in the public eye at all. Your father, your husband, your sibling, your son, whatever, is missing for 3 weeks.
It's on the news every day.
It's on the news talking about it. And I mean, it's just a tragic situation in terms of, how his body was found and whatnot. But that situation, in combination with his retirement, and I'm happy they dove into this aspect of the story, where did Jordan's father getting murdered have to do with Jordan's gambling situations that was going on, which also led to reasons why the NBA possibly silently suspended him for a year from the league, but to the public, Jordan retired and stepped away from basketball. I'm happy they dove into it. They got a lot of people to speak up on the documentary, especially Jordan himself. They got in the late great David Stern to speak on it. But that's always a rumor, a speculation that was out there that I've always heard, that Jordan's gambling was so heavy duty that he must have messed with the wrong people, and they retaliated by going after his father. And in turn, the NBA said, "Look, we need you to step away." That's always a conspiracy theory that's been out there that I've always heard, that in some ways this documentary, cleared it up in a sense, because Jordan spoke on it. Had anything to do with his gambling and whatnot. He was burnt out, and on top of being burnt out, a wish that his father had was him to try out baseball. And David Stern came on and was like, "Look, Jordan stepped away under his own account. It had nothing to do, nothing to do with anything going on. Jordan wanted to step away because Jordan wanted to step away. And we totally respected that. And they held a press conference for this guy.
Yeah.
And the owner was there. The GM was there. David Stern was there. Like
teammates in the background.
The media presence was massive. Like the GM, not the GM, the commissioner at a player's retirement ceremony. That's how big of a player Michael Jordan was during this time. But like I said, the documentary dove into a lot with that situation.
Yeah, and it's just, man, that whole conspiracy, it's cruel. It was cruel. Like we spoke about it last week, how you build up a play and you break them down. Media was really saying Jordan has something to do with his father's death.
That's crazy.
Imagine that. Your father's been missing for 3 weeks. You're trying to grieve. And everyone in the media saying that you're a reason for that. I was speaking to my dad because obviously he remembers it a lot more. And my dad was telling me how it's a lot worse than what they put in the documentary. Like Jordan was getting attacked. The whole Jordan was this great guy. No, that in the media every day, it was really bad. And we don't get that sense. I remember you and me were arguing like, yo, like you just lost the love of the game and you just retired. Like it didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But obviously we're young. We weren't there at the time. I was just being born when this whole thing was happening. So the media really turned it back on Jordan and really attacked him and portrayed him as, hey, this is a guy who was messing with the mob. They were saying he was in the mob, messing with the mob, and the mob got his father. And I can't even imagine what that does to a person, man. To all of a sudden be vilified, look as the villain and being blamed that you're the reason why your father has passed away. That's crazy.
It's hurtful.
Your best friend.
Hurtful, yeah. Like you see the early championships that he won. Every time they show locker room celebration, Jordan's going off, champagne, cigar, trophy. Who's to the left of him? His dad. His dad. Not you don't see, Pippen or Horace Grant or Paxson or these other guys or Phil Jackson. Like it's his dad who's there celebrating with him. That goes to show you how deep, their relationship was. That he's right there at a big moment like winning the championship. But following that, him stepping away to play baseball. The thing with baseball, and not to kind of diminish the sport that it is, yes, he was in the minor league system, whatnot, but I really got the sense that, like, when he went to go play baseball in the minor leagues in Birmingham, whatever he was playing for, the White Sox organization, it seemed like he got a chance to really kind of fly under the radar. When I say that, obviously still Michael Jordan. Like they said in the documentary, they're AAA, double A, I think it was. Their AA games still sold out.
Oh, yeah.
Stadiums and people lined up to get autographs and whatnot. And it was cool, but I still feel as if it wasn't on the same level as Michael Jordan, the basketball player, the NBA star, being considered one of the greatest of all time at that point. I feel like he got a chance to really kind of fly underneath the radar a little bit in a way when he stepped away to play baseball. And they showed him, he still showed up to, Chicago Bulls games. I think they said he went to a couple practices and whatnot when he was getting close to, returning. But I think that helped Jordan out a lot, getting that chance, obviously try to be the best at baseball, but fly under the radar a little bit in terms of media, being all over it.
Yeah, and you could see that he was happy, felt like one of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's not expectation for Jordan to lead the Alabama Birmingham team to a championship.
Exactly.
He's there. Obviously, he's still the most popular. He's still the most popular guy on the team. He was still going to sell a lot of tickets. Rumor has it he was gonna make it to the MLB eventually. Going to make it to the major leagues, and whether he sucked or not, he was gonna make it to the major leagues because. It's Michael Jordan. They were going to make a business decision. And if the White Sox, I don't know what they were. If they weren't a good team at the time, why not just put Jordan on the team to make some money? I don't know where they were standing at that moment. Yeah. So then we get to the point of how does Jordan get back into the league, right? They break it down. He calls up B.J. Armstrong. Listen, B.J. Armstrong, a nice player, but I did not expect to see him all over this documentary.
That guy probably is there more than Pippen and Rodman.
Yeah, BJ Armstrong has a lot of airtime throughout this documentary. Shout out to BJ.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, especially the young cats, don't know who the hell BJ Armstrong is. They heard about Rodman, they maybe know Horace Grant and Pippen, Steve Kerr, but they don't know who the hell BJ Armstrong is. And BJ, his stock just went up.
Big time.
So
Big time.
He calls up. Sam said, dude, BJ, don't shut up. He calls up BJ, his buddy, said, let's chill out, ask about the season. BJ tells him to come to a practice. BJ must have seen something about Jordan in his eyes, and he said, yo, come to a practice. And from then on, we saw that Jordan had that itch again. My question is, how long would it have taken for Jordan to come back if BJ never told him to come back to that practice?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, BJ probably had a hand in it, but he was going to come back.
He was going to come back. I think we knew he was going to come back. But did that speed up the process, Jordan coming back to the locker room?
Yeah.
And
you get around the guys that you've been in battle with over the years, I mean, it's going to help you want to feel like, hey, I want to be a part of this again. And especially due to the fact that, that's the second year. The first year when he retired, it was strictly baseball. The Bulls was nice. They were still pretty good. And they went to the playoffs and unfortunately lost to Knicks, I believe. Yeah. But then that second year, those guys who still your boys that you battle with, they sucked. The Bulls sucked that second year. Good. So Jordan's probably watching I think they showed him one time after a game where they had a bad game, or it might have been the game where Phil Jackson let Kukoc take a shot instead of Pippen, and they kind of showed Jordan's reaction and block him. I don't know if it was that game specifically, but to watch your boys suck and know that if you're there, you can help out in a huge way, it had to have been eaten away at him. It had to have been eaten away at him. No, so it couldn't have been that playoff game.
The Kukoc
that game was later
when
on.
They were good.
Yeah, when they were good. But still, it had to start eating away at Jordan, knowing that he could probably come back. And that first year, he could put them over the edge, get past the Knicks. And in that second year, they probably wouldn't have been as bad as they were if Jordan was there helping out. So,
and also helps that, baseball at the time, there was a strike. There was a strike going on. So, a lot of things were going. A lot of things helped Jordan speed up the process.
Yeah. To
get him back. And then we get to the mystique, right? There's people who think Jordan retired. Had 3 when he came back. Jordan won 3 more. There's that missing piece right there that people forget or just don't know and doesn't get talked about a lot. Is that Jordan came back and they lost.
Yeah, that flies
under the radar a lot. Jordan came back and they lost to the Orlando Magic in the second round. This is 45 Jordan. And I think I spoke to you about that series last week. We don't have to get to it too much. But it changes everything for Jordan, right?
Mm-hmm.
It really gets Jordan back into, okay, I'm gonna get in shape. I guess there's a difference between a baseball body and a basketball body. And the trainer, Jordan's trainer almost chokes up in the documentary too. He's so fired up. He chokes up in the documentary about how Jordan just really wanted to get back into the game, and he usually goes on vacation after the season, but he said, the next day we starting. And Jordan got the whole team. And I think Kendrick Perkins, I saw Perkins be tweeting wild, but I saw Perkins
get annoying.
Perkins be tweeting wild. But he says something on Twitter, how saying something that doesn't get talked about is that Bulls team was the best in shape team all the time. And that starts with Jordan, the summer program. They get all the guys and they're just working for that ultimate goal of winning a championship.
So what's crazy about it, the whole comeback situation, you talk about things throughout the documentary that you've never heard of, didn't know at all. I knew Michael Jordan filmed Space Jam in between, getting ready to return to the league.
That's a good point.
I never, ever knew that while he was, I'm assuming Michael Jordan was working out, of course. But there was an article I read somewhere, must have been from Slam Magazine or something like that. The workouts Jordan had that summer leading up to the 95-96 year during the filming of Space Jam.
Legends, bro.
Legendary. They built a basketball court on the Warner Bros. Studios campus. And he invited nothing but stars. They already had a couple guys in the movie that could play like Barkley and Ewan and a couple guys. But like people, Reggie Miller, Larry Johnson, I think maybe Gary Payton or Tim Hardaway, like ballers showed up to ball with Jordan. They said he would film in the morning, play ball all afternoon, work out in between that.
Even celebrities pulled up, like George Clooney and the were there. It was the place to be that summer. And everyone wanted to be there.
Everybody. And obviously, people got a chance to work on the game and play some competitive ball. Reggie Miller came out to some of the most competitive pickup run he's ever been a part of. But for Jordan, that was like, okay, one, let me get back in basketball shape, balling all summer and working out to get my basketball body back. But two, let me see what these other, top tier NBA talent is looking like and kind of go up against them, during the summer. I never knew. I mean, obviously, I believe Jordan transformed himself, which also led to the reason why 95, 96 was one of the greatest, seasons ever by a team. And Jordan had a great season. But the work he really put into coming back, I never knew about those Space Jam workouts.
Yeah, the Space Jam workouts, those are legendary. Man.
Wow.
The man was beating Monstars in the morning, coming out and just scouting because he's gone for 2 years.
Yeah.
He's gone for 2 years. The NBA has changed. There's new guys now. There's new athletic people out there ready, hungry. So Jordan invites them all, scouts them.
Yep.
Plays, gets in his basketball shape, his basketball routine. And this is just playing ball. This is not him working out yet. Like, crazy. I wish there was more film on it. Like, how we have film of the 92 basketball practices. I wish there was more film of the 95 Jordan Dome.
Space Jam. That's what it's called, a Jordan Dome.
Like,
just great workouts and great pickup basketball took place. But yeah, he came back in amazing shape. And I mean, prior to that, I think he kind of jumped ahead a little bit to the 95, 96 season. But they win. What am I thinking about? No, sorry, 95, 96 when they won on Father's Day. Correct?
With the championship.
The championship.
Yes.
When Jordan finally comes back full force and they get the championship, fast forward through that season, when they beat the Supersonics, the emotion that came from Jordan. We've always seen the video of him laying on the floor crying.
Yeah, we
picture of him holding the ball crying. But I don't think, and a couple of media heads that were on Twitter tweeting about it, said it too. They've never heard the audio from that clip. And that is a grown man on the floor bawling his eyes out.
It's different when you see like a Superman.
It hit me. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe I had some wine or something. I don't know.
You seeing a Superman, someone like that, break it down, like full out break it. I don't know what that person was doing next to him, trying to cover his name with the towel.
I don't know.
Every time I watch that video, put the towel off, take it off, put the towel back on. I don't know what the hell he did. But yeah, just to hear Jordan wail like that, whoa, that's what I'm saying. You put that episode against any documentary, bro. That is wild.
Yeah.
That was tough. Now, another thing that this documentary showcased, Jordan's tapped. He's like,
I'm learning that more each time I watch this documentary.
We all knew he's competitive. He's super competitive. But there's a thing about being super competitive and then being a little crazy. Jordan's crazy. This guy would find any little thing, but he had to. He was his only competition. So he started to make things up to really get himself going and get himself up and ready to fight. Whether it was the BJ Armstrong story or the George Karl walk by him. You're facing the man in the final. What the hell does he need to say hi to you for? You're his number one enemy.
Oh, you didn't say hi to me in this restaurant before the game? Bet.
And then you could see him, the BJ Armstrong. He has a cigar. He's playing with the baseball.
That clip is scary.
It's scary.
Because that's probably like 20 minutes before the game.
He's talking his shit, got the cigar. So, BJ want to do that. Oh, he forgot. What is BJ supposed to do? BJ knows his team is nowhere near the Bulls level. And he balled.
Shit, sure did.
He balled. Of course, I would do the same. Any man would do the same thing. They will yell. They'll say, "Yeah." And if BJ did it with Michael Jordan on the team, Michael Jordan would be happy. But because it was against him, all of a sudden it's like it's a slap in the face. Jordan takes that as a slap in the face. What's the other guy we was making fun of? Ladranian, whatever his name was, from the Pistons, who dropped 37 on Jordan.
It's a guy who's a one-hit wonder. He had one crazy game against Jordan.
Poor kid.
I never heard of him.
Poor kid goes out, has a great game. He balls. Says he's playing against maybe his hero. Playing maybe against his hero, like, yo, Jordan, good game. Jordan takes that as the ultimate disrespect.
Told me a good game, and Jordan said, "Oh yeah,
I'm going to have 36 in the first." He said, the guy dropped 36. He said, "I'm gonna have 37 first half."
He said, "What was his career high? 37 in the game. I'm gonna drop that in the half."
Why? Like,
wild.
It's so disrespectful. Man, Jordan said, "Guys, I'm not passing y'all the ball the first half because he dropped 37 points." Which they won. The game they won too. The Bulls won that game when he dropped 37. But Jordan didn't care, just because the man said, "Good game, Mike."
The thing about Jordan is, he can say stuff like that smoothly, calmly, and easily.
Call a little terrier.
easily back it up. And only three people I see talk like that. Since I've been watching basketball years, study, whatever, 3 people talk like that. Jordan, Bird, and Kobe.
Yeah.
Will tell you, I'm going to do this, that, and the third to you.
Bird stories are legendary.
Bird has wild stories where he tells his teammates, I'm going to ball the whole game left-handed. It goes out and balls the whole game left-handed. I'm going to win the 3-point competition. Who's coming in second? Goes out, wins the 3-point competition, no problem. Jordan, Bird, and Kobe will tell you, I'm going to do this, that, and the third to you, and then they do it. It's wild. It's wild. Dirk said Jordan a psychopath. He is.
Yeah,
he is.
We can't sugarcoat it no more. Jordan's crazy.
Yeah.
And to see him get emotional about defending himself on the reason why he's like that.
It was. I didn't even peep. I might have turned away to do something for a second, so I wasn't looking at the screen when he started saying. But I heard in his voice, I'm like, is Jordan crying? Is Jordan about to cry? Because he said, I wouldn't ask my teammates to do things I wouldn't do. I just wanted to win so bad. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but the fact that even as a 50-something, 60-something-year-old man, he could talk about it and it still eats at him a little bit. It's like, whoa, this is the levels this guy would go to try to, bring. First, he's going to bring the best out of himself, but to try to bring the best out of his teammates. They show the clips of him swearing and cursing at these dudes, telling dude, watch me, pay attention to me. Like, I can understand why people will see that and be like, yo, Jordan's an asshole. Like, why he gotta be like that? Why he gotta shit on the dude in practice like that and block his shot? Why? He had no malice in his heart towards. You think when he punched Steve Kerr, he hated Steve Kerr? He had no malice in his heart towards Steve Kerr. Steve Burrell, whatever his name is. Scott, whatever, only lasted 1 year in Chicago. I don't think he had any hatred in his heart towards these guys, but I firmly believe the type of dude he was, he just would be that way just to rile you up to get the best out of you. And in one of those playoffs games, Scott Burrell went off, had a good game or something. Steve Kerr hit big shots. Like,
I mean, it's obviously they show the good, right? They show Scott Burrell, nice guy. Obviously comes out as a nice guy. But that didn't work with every teammate with Jordan. Like, Jordan drew teammates away from the Bulls.
They never talked about the Bill Cartwright story.
Jordan drew some teammates away, and Jordan knew he couldn't do what he did to everybody. He wasn't doing that to Charles Oakley, and Horace Grant. There's an infamous story out there now with Horace Grant when Jordan's like, hey, he doesn't eat if he has a bad game in the plane. And that Horace Grant came out and said, nah, Jordan didn't want to see me then, and Jordan don't want to see me now. Like, this story, obviously, this is Jordan's the protagonist of this. So you got to make sure that you get more of his story out there. But let's not get it twisted. He didn't get the best out of all of his teammates. And the same thing with Kobe. Like Kobe didn't get the best out of all of his teammates when he was rationing them, things like that. It drives people away. Some people can take and use it as fuel, and some people can't. And I feel like, you have to have that balance of a perfect leader. Jordan was go, and that was a criticism of Jordan. That was a criticism of Kobe. It's just you can't be always too harsh, but that's why Phil Jackson was also a great coach.
And I mean, the thing is, with that type of leadership, I guess if you want to say, like you said, it works for some people, it doesn't work. I just read an article yesterday about Scott Burrell. He was like, honestly, I love the fact that Jordan was like that towards me.
Right.
He enjoyed.
That's why he's in the top.
Yeah. He enjoyed Jordan being hard on him like that all the time because he said it pushed him to be even better. Now, granted, Scott Burrell sucked. Like, he wasn't a good basketball player, but I guess again, there was a game somewhere in that season when he was on the team where his number was called upon and he had a great game. And, he'll probably attribute that to, hey, Jordan believed in me. You got the greatest player in the world at the time, the greatest basketball player of all time at the time, having confidence and believing in you because he's pushing you every day in practice. Scott said he felt good that Jordan was doing that towards him. So, I mean, like you said, it worked for some people, doesn't work for others. But it just, like people, I think Dirk said, Sam said, Jordan's loony, no wonder why he was in Space Jam. This documentary will show you that, yeah, Jordan's tapped. He's very tapped, and I mean
that baseball to cigar scene is just crazy.
I watched that, and he just said it's easy to talk shit when you up by 5 or 6, but let me see if you can talk that same talk when it's 0-0. That's when it really starts, something like that. And he's just saying it calm, cool, swinging a baseball bat in the locker room, smoking a cigar.
Pissed.
Pissed.
He's pissed.
He's saying it calm, but in his mind, like, I'm gonna mess BJ up. And I mean, Jordan backed up everything he spoke about. He's, as a player, I don't think there's ever a time you could have said, "Oh, Jordan didn't back it up."
Yeah.
Even that time they got called out because he was wearing 45. He said, "Oh, 45 stuck. You want to see 23?"
Right.
I mean, they lost to the Magic, but Jordan made sure to let them know, yeah, don't forget who I am, bro. Oh, man.
Great documentary. I mean, I think the only other thing, if anything, you also want to bring up, the other memorable moment of the past 2 documentaries is the Gary Payton scene. Gary's, deservingly so, is talking his shit. It's like, yo, those 2 games that when they're down 3-0 and George Karl finally put me on Jordan, we won those 2 games and I locked Jordan up. If I had done it earlier, I'm toughening him out. If I do this, that, and Jordan looks at the iPad and just starts laughing.
I need to go back and look at the stats from that series.
Look at the stats.
Did Peyton really lock him up?
Yeah, Peyton did a great job. And even the games that they won, like Jordan's efficiency is not good throughout that whole series. If you know Michael Jordan, obviously you know the points, but what makes Jordan above everything else is his efficiency. That dude was just efficient as hell. And he wasn't efficient during that series. If you go back and you look at the stats, that Gary Payton obviously has something to do with it. But Jordan is never in his life. If by watching this series, you should know a little bit about Jordan now. He's never in his life ever going to give credit to anybody.
I didn't have a problem with the glove.
The glove?
Problem with the glove.
Gary Payton.
Glove.
And he believes it. He really believes it.
But I mean, hey, the guy got the accolades, the hardware to back up all this talk.
Dirk says it's the final low in shooting percentage and field goal. Yeah, it wasn't a great series by Jordan by any means. So, Gary GP has a point. We're talking about defensive player of the year here. He knows what he's doing when it comes to defense. And the Sonics were a great team. Like, we know that 72-10 team, but Sonics had this 60+ team. And another thing, which I always now watching this series and going back and watching some of these teams, and I want to get to this conversation maybe next week because it'll be ending it up. But what was the better Bulls team? Is 96 Bulls team really the best team? Or was it the 93 team with Horace Grant? Because you have to remember, 96 was the expansion league. So teams were watered down. It was a lot easier to win games. So does that have something to do with it?
I'm going to have to play that game out in 2K sometime.
That'll be a good one.
But it's a good conversation to have. I mean, I think they had that. I don't know if they had the battle of which team was the best, but I know on like First Take or something, they had a discussion of which three-peat was more impressive, the first three or the last three.
I need to watch that.
And I think the majority might have said the first three, but
because that 96 team is special. 72-10 is special. But then when you dive into it, they're facing bums. Like the team was watered down. The expansion team, if you know what expansion means, there was more teams that got joined in the NBA.
Yeah, and they put bums on them.
And you put bums on them, and teams leave other teams to fill it up. So it's really bummy. And then you got Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman. They was wiping through teams. They even said Scottie looked at the schedule, was like, yeah, we're not losing in January.
My brother Jay says he didn't like how Jordan didn't give Gary Payton his credit.
Yeah, no,
of course he
didn't. And one thing about Jordan is Jordan doesn't give credit. You just watch this thing, you think it's just Jordan, Scottie, and Phil who did all the work.
I'm telling you, like you can't really. I mean, because I know a little bit about the teams, I can name some other guys, but I think the casual fan, you don't know many other players on the Bulls team after Pippen, Jordan, Rodman, or Pippen, Jordan, Horace Grant. You may know Steve Kerr, but like not gonna really Bill Wellington, like who? Like Jed Bushler, like
and they're all part of the Bulls team.
These guys got rings. They got rings.
And they played their role. They played their role, but yeah, Jordan doesn't. If someone beats Jordan or gets the better of Jordan doesn't give him their props. And I wish he would too. Like I feel that.
Give props to the Magic team, but his whole thing is I just wasn't in shape.
Right.
I just wasn't in shape.
Which is true. I wish he had come in to say, yo, no, GP did. He had a great those 2 games. I had to adjust. Like it would have been nice to hear that from Jordan. But if you watch Jordan's Hall of Fame speech, if you watch any of these things, Jordan's a petty MFer. Like he just does not care, and that's just his personality.
Hey man, 2 episodes left.
2 episodes left.
2 episodes left in The Last Dance, and I mean, it's gonna suck when it's over because I mean, if there's another thing to look to say, I'm calling out the guys on the Jed Bushler, man. He got a couple rings. I'm pretty sure he was there for the 3-peat or something like that. But either way, 2 more episodes left. Eyes will be glued to the TV because they're going to be talking about obviously getting up to the championship, in 98. And I don't know what else they can fit in.
97 and 98, you're going to get the Steve Kerr shot that won them the 97 championship.
The flu game.
You're going to get the flu game. They're going to spend some time on the flu game.
Then, the final 98 game against Utah where Jordan hit his last shot that everyone thought about. And then obviously they'll talk about that offseason where everything really just fell apart.
Yeah, that's it. I think they're going to focus on Kerr a little more because Kerr plays a big part in that championship.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
We'll be
watching. I want more behind the scenes. Like, this is great and all. It's not what I expected. I didn't expect them to chronicleize the whole Bulls franchise.
There's no way at 10. I mean, I think I said that to you. It was like, oh no, it was either you or my brother. Like, oh no, this is gonna be about the last season. But they found a way to fit the whole dynasty into this 10-part documentary, which is amazing
cool.
to see.
It's really cool.
Happy they did that.
So yeah, I still want more. I want more behind the scenes. Jordan came out and was like, people might hate me after this. I don't come out feeling any obviously I think he's a maniac and he's crazy, but I kind of like the guy more.
Yeah, so I feel about Phil Jackson. Like Jordan, I appreciate his greatness even more, and then Phil Jackson, I used to not care for Phil Jackson, but I have much more respect for Phil Jackson now as a coach and what he did for that Bulls team. So and the thing is, I think even when the documentary's over, it's not much other things to talk about. So it's still going to be the topic of discussion
for sure
for the next couple of weeks.
For sure. We always manage to spend 40 minutes on The Last Dance. I don't know how we do it, but there's always so much more. We probably missed some stuff to talk about, but we got to move on, man. We got to move on Double M, as you guys know. Excuse me. As you guys know, Patriots. released their schedule.
Yes, sir.
It's the dawn of a new era. It is time. It is here. The schedule is here. You want me to read out the schedule? You want me to read out some marquee games?
Big time games,
Big time games. Week 2, you face the Seattle Seahawks at Seattle.
Week 2, sheesh.
Right off the bat. And then in week 4, you got the defending champs at their place at Kansas City. You face them. Another big time game after a bye week. After bye week in week 6, you face the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo returns. That's a big time game. And I think the last 2 games against the Bills and Jets at home are going to be huge.
Sam said those games, last couple games you just listed, that's 3 L's right there. Yeah, man.
Yeah. We had this topic on the roundtable.
Patriots roundtable. Shout out to the roundtable. Shout out to our guy, Nick.
We had this topic. I think I'm just going to repeat everything that I said on the roundtable right here. I think the Patriots are going to struggle to start off. I can easily see where they can start off the season 4-5, when the last loss being to, where's that team? The Baltimore Ravens. They can go 4-5 to the Baltimore Ravens. But after that, I think the Patriots can go on a nice little stretch from week 11 to week 17. The schedules from Texans, Cardinals, Chargers, Rams, Dolphins, Bills, Patriots. I think they can only, if they lose only 1 game in that stretch, that makes them 10-6. And I think that's going to be their record. They go on a run in the second half. It's going to start off shaky. You got Jared Stidham. The schedule's tough. It's tough to begin with.
Just said he believes the Patriots have the hardest schedule in the whole league.
I haven't checked out the whole league, but if you've checked it out and you say you think they have the toughest schedule in the whole league, I believe you. This is a brutal schedule to start off with, but I like it. Give your young quarterback this challenge. You're not gonna get a better challenge in the first 4 weeks, anyways. So I think they start off 4-5, and that's gonna look ugly in New England. The world's gonna come down. Oh my God, losing record already. But I think that gives Belichick time now to really get things going, and they can go on a run in the second half. That's my opinion. I say 10-6.
So before the schedule came out, I figured this team will struggle. They have a tough time. Young quarterback, hasn't done anything in the league. Teams gotten younger, they struggle. Schedule came out. I had time to look through it, analyze it. And my prediction, if we're talking about predictions with the record, and please, if you have a prediction with the record, drop that in the comments. Let us see your prediction for sure. I say the Patriots go 7-9. That's what I'm looking at. Like we said, we talked about this on a roundtable. And, the losses will be there. They're going to lose some divisional matchups. I feel the divisional matchups is going to be more than we're used to seeing over the years. Obviously, tough game against Seattle, in Seattle. Baltimore's one of the hottest teams out. Kansas City's the defending Super Bowl champions. Texans still got Deshaun Watson. And if you ask me, or a quarterback matchup, if I'm taking Deshaun Watson or Jared Stidham, I'm taking Deshaun Watson. There's tough matchups in there for sure. And I see this team being below 500 this upcoming season. Now, when I say that, does a 7-9 team make the playoffs? Maybe they get a chance at the wild card.
Barely.
Maybe in some wild situations, maybe a 7-9 team get a crack at the wild card, but it's looking unlikely. So if I'm saying 7-9, and we're going by the odds and what history has shown us, Patriots won't be in the playoffs this year. That's just based off of my prediction. It's a tough schedule. Derek said it here in the comments for sure. It's probably one of the hardest schedules in the league. Again, I haven't looked at the rest of the schedule either, but just seeing what the Patriots have to deal with, it looks very tough for a young team and a young quarterback. Now, granted, they still have the greatest coach of all time.
Yep.
So that right there could be the deciding factor as to if this team is going to struggle because they're young and young quarterback and whatnot, or if Belichick can say, hey, no matter what team out there, as long as I'm coaching it with the Patriots system, we're going to be just fine. So that's what remains to be seen out there. All the talkers, who's going to shine more? Brady going to show that he's an amazing quarterback in Tampa Bay, or is Belichick going to show that, he's the greatest coach with this team in New England. Both guys are going to get tested as to how great they are. Brady's going to have to show something with that talented offense in Tampa Bay, and Belichick is going to have to show something with now a team that he can really fully coach, under his umbrella of the Patriots system.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I bring up the first half, the first 5 games. Usually with the Patriots, the first 5 games, first 4 games, it doesn't really mean nothing to the Patriots. It's how they get better into December, and the first 5 games you got the Dolphins, Seahawks, Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos.
4 or 5.
Math a little funny there.
Wait. Sorry.
The math a little funny.
2 and 3. Sorry. 2 and 3. 2 and 3.
You got the Dolphins, Seahawks, Raiders, Kansas City, Broncos. You say 2 and 3. Patriots want to have a chance to put themselves in a good position. They got to be 3 and 2. I think the loss. We all know the loss to Kansas City and Seahawks might be automatic.
Yes.
Like from what we see right now. You got to find a way to win that first game. Hopefully you face Tua. It's not Fitz magic. You face the rookie quarterback in Tua. You see what happens there. And then, that Raiders game is going to be huge. That's a huge game right there. So, tough schedule, but that first 5 games is going to tell us a lot about the Patriots. Doesn't matter what my prediction is of how they go. But whatever it is, that first 5 games right there, yeah, you're going to know what you have in this team.
Our guy Dirk said Bleacher Report has the Patriots at 4 and 12. My goodness, that's disrespectful to Belichick.
4 and 12.
Yeah,
that's very disrespectful. And someone's gonna let Belichick know about that.
Yeah, that's bulletin board material.
Yeah, someone's gonna let.
Sam has him at 8 and 8, right at 500, huh? I think they're gonna be floating around there. I honestly do. 8 and 8. 7 and 9, like they're gonna be floating around there. The schedule's tough, and you don't know what you have at the quarterback position yet.
Yeah, I mean, you have a schedule where you face the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl last year. That's really tough right there. You got teams that had the best record last year in the Baltimore Ravens, and Dirk saying best team. Based off the team's record of last year, the Patriots have the hardest schedule. So there you have it based on record-wise. And they have a tough stretch. I brought it up on Roundtable. December's a tough stretch right here. You face the Chargers on December 5th at LA. Then you stay in LA, but you play Thursday. So it's a very quick turnaround. You play Thursday against the Rams, and then you go to Miami, and you face Miami in December as well. So that's 3 games you're away. It could be a great bonding trip. We all heard about team bonding when there's road trips like this, but it's also very hard to have that 3 swing around. One of them being a Thursday game. So let's see how they make it out of that as well.
It's going to be interesting to watch. I'm saying. For us Patriots fans out there who are just used to success, used to winning, Patriots got off to last year, before 8-0 start, 5-0, 7-0, something like that. Used to these great starts or these 12 and 4. Derek says their chance they go to. We got to come back down to earth right now.
What do you say? Any chance to go 12 and 4?
No.
Let's play optimistic. Let's see if there's a chance. I'm going to be as optimistic as possible and see if I get 12. So, first game, Dolphins win.
They usually beat the divisional teams. Okay.
First game is to win. Seahawks, as optimistic as I can be, L. Raiders, they win. We'll say they win that game.
It's been sucking.
And they're at home. So that's the win. Chiefs, put
2 and 2.
2 and 2. Broncos, they win. They're at home right before the bye week.
3 and 2.
Okay. In order for them to get this 12 and 4, this game is big right here. Off of a bye week, You got 2 weeks to prepare for Garoppolo.
Okay.
49ers, Patriots, you're at home.
3-3.
You have them losing.
Yes.
Optimistically, I'm going to say they win that game. 2 weeks. Belichick has 2 weeks to play.
Still I'm ready for that 49ers defense.
It's going to be tough, but, I'm trying to play the No, I can't. I tried to talk myself into
3-3,
3-3. 3-3. We got one more L here. Patriots beat the Bills. They beat the Jets. What's that? What's the record now?
That's
5-3. Ravens. They lose.
5-4.
So now we have 5-4.
You can't lose for the rest of the year.
Texans. Deshaun Watson doesn't have his offensive weapons like before. I say you win that game.
6-3? No, 6-4.
6-4. You beat the Cardinals. You're at home.
7-4.
Now I don't think they go undefeated in that December stretch that I had.
Oh, they got to face the Rams. It's over.
Yeah.
In LA?
In LA.
Oh, it's over. Yeah, 12-4 is out the picture. 11-5, maybe.
11-5, maybe. That's what, and I have them at 10-6.
10-6, 11-5 is the cap, is the ceiling.
And yeah, so that's me being as optimistic as possible.
No more than 11 wins for the Patriots, but I don't see it happen. That's just me. I don't see it happen. But again, when you still have the greatest coach of all time, hey, the Bulls lost Jordan, and they in the mid-90s, and they still were a playoff team.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know who's the Pippin on the Patriots, if there is one. Football and basketball is just so different. Edelman is Pippin. Like, I don't even know if you can make that comparison. Because someone still has to pass them in the ball. So it's very different.
You can't make those.
But hey, still, the greatest coach of all time is there. Dirk, 7-9. That's exactly where I was at, Dirk. 7-9 is what I see the Patriots doing this season, which means they probably will not be looking at a playoff berth in the 2020 season. But just like you, me, and everybody else, we just have to watch and see.
We'll wait and see. Watch and see. I'm excited. I'm excited for this team. I might be a little more optimistic than others, but hey, there's only one way to
sounds like your optimism sounds like me last year with the Celtics. Was it the year last year, this year?
The year before. Yeah, but unlike you, once I see the team sucking, I'm gonna be like, the team sucks. I'm not gonna hold on to a threat. If Jared still sucks, I'm gonna say he sucks. Unlike you, when Kyrie was doing what he was doing, there's a chance, maybe this. I'll let it go.
I didn't know the man gave up on us.
I'll let it go. I've been trying to. I told you the whole year.
I didn't know the man gave up on us.
Told you the whole year, bro.
But anyways, let's move on to a more serious topic here.
Yes, sir. Started off.
Definitely want to talk about the tragic loss of Ahmaud Arbery that took place. I want to say 2 weeks ago now.
It's been a month.
It's been a month.
It's been a month. The video came out. Has just recently come out.
Well, yeah, the video came out that we all, got to see. If you've seen that video, it's very tragic. But just a quick backstory, Ahmaud Arbery, jogging in his neighborhood, was mistaken by a white male, his father and son duo, took it upon themselves to play, police officer or, neighborhood security watch, whatever the case may be. And, I guess a report was out there of a robbery taking place. And they saw this guy jogging, just jogging. I don't know what's suspicious or anything about jogging down the street. He was unarmed. From the video, if I remember, just had shorts, t-shirt, typical jogging, weather, sneakers, jogging. And they mistaked him in being an armed robber. And, he was attacked. And during the course of the attack, he was shot and killed by those two men. And it later came out that guy's unarmed, wasn't who they thought he was, but an innocent young black male lost his life in the middle of the street. And I mean, again, it was out there before, but once the video came out, it took on a whole bigger, the story became even bigger because, you keep hearing about these things happening. And again, it's sad in this day and age, kind of in a sense, it gets to a point where you hear the story and it's like, damn, another war, damn. But obviously when you have the video come out that goes along with the sad story as well, it really morphed into something huge, which of course it should have. It's exactly what it should be because it needs to be talked about on a consistent basis, how this is happening, still happening, continuously happening over and over and over again. And it's tough to know, again, the story, you read about it, you hear about it, you see the video. It's just tough. If you're a black man, it's scary. I know Marv and I can attest to it because something that Ahmed was doing is something that, Marv does during the week, something that I do during the week in my neighborhood. It's scary. And, this conversation can go on. We definitely want to hear from you guys. We want to hear, Marv got his input. I got more input. But this is something that's really, in our minds, in our hearts right now, because it's huge. And it's another scary, sad story of a situation that is continuously taking place in this country.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's feeling like, I was talking to my brother Louise about this. It's feeling like 2015 all over again, where Black Lives was a trending topic for not good reasons. And during a pandemic, for this to be at a rise, at a spike, it's crazy. Ahmaud Arbery, rest in peace, young man. He's just one of many cases. One of many cases of Black men being slaughtered like animals because of the color of their skin. It's saddening, it's sick, and at what point is enough enough? At what point does protesting, does hashtag not get the job done? These are questions that people are now asking themselves to. At what point does retaliation need to take place? Like, these are real questions people are going through people's minds right now. A young man was jogging down the street and got gunned down.
Ambushed and gunned down.
Shotgun, like an animal. At what point is this just us talking about it on Double M, or us being peaceful not enough? Because it's frustrating. It's a lot. It messes people up. Watching this, I remember we had a conversation where we were like, man, during this quarantine and everything, really hope that, the violence goes down and that people, and we was talking about gangs. We were like talking about, we hope, people really stop fighting. Everything's just it's a peaceful summer. In the back of my head, I was always thinking, I just hope, the police chill out. And just stupidly thinking that, and I got away with the news after the coronavirus and stuff. I've sheltered myself from the news for a bit, got on my video games, playing my games and stuff like that, and really sheltered from what was going on. Then one day, after hearing about Ahmaud Arbery, before the video, I heard about Ahmaud Arbery, and I was saying to myself, here we go again. So one night I just started to really dive in and see what's been going on in the world, and it's whoa. It's crazy what's going on right now in this world. Police are using these quarantine rules and these stay-at-home rules to enforce power and will to unnecessary lengths. Unnecessary lengths, and it's disgusting. And what makes it more disgusting about all of this is there's no justice. And at this point, we're tired of even getting justice. We just don't want our lives being taken away no more.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam said something in the comments that's, it's ringing louder and louder as this continues to happen. Maybe Malcolm, and he's speaking about Malcolm X. Maybe Malcolm was onto something, and you want peace all around. Nobody wants violence towards anybody. Nobody wants violence, period. But I think it's to make a kind of situation. Give an example. If you're a kid at a school and you continuously getting bullied by somebody, and you try to, you don't want to cause no trouble, you just going to. How much bullying and poking are you gonna take till one day you just turn around and just bam? Yeah. Don't mess with me no more. I tried to tell you. I personally been in that situation. I remember I was in 5th or 4th grade. And it was definitely a dude that kept bothering me. And I tell you the same exact situation, dude was bothering me. It was one day he's on the field playing kickball. And the dude was bothering me on the kickball, baseball field, whatever. And it just got to a point, I turned around and clocked him in the face. I've never, at that point, I don't think I've ever really been in no crazy fight or anything like that. But it just got to a point where, like, yo, leave me alone. Stop bothering me. And it's for you to stop bothering me, take this left hook to your face, to your jaw, so you know what's up. Obviously that's on a minuscule scale compared to what's going on right now in the world of this situation. But, like, you're going to push people and keep pushing and something will keep happening. Like, it's going to get to a point. Like, it could get to a point.
It is. And that's what they want. That's what they want. They want Black people to be in the news, and they want us to retaliate and look like animals that they've been trying to portray us as. Because you know how they're going to flip. They're going to make us look. But what strategic things can we do? What are the other steps? Sam brings up Malcolm X. I'm not wearing it right now, but I wear my by any means necessary hat all the time. Just like, we can't let this go on silently no more. And there's people doing a lot of great work. But there's so many nasty people in this world. And there's so many people in America who don't understand what's happening right now. Like, they can't comprehend how we're getting hunted. They can't comprehend how we're living. LeBron James, he posted something on his Instagram about this situation. If you go into his comments, you go into his comment and people are talking to him like he's crazy, like this doesn't exist. This is a propaganda that is going on in this world. It's that, LeBron just spewing things that are not true. Black people are not getting hunted. Don't put this in the atmosphere. Are people not understanding what is going on? Like, these are not just hashtags. These are real life people. There was one video of this man named Sean Reed on Facebook Live running from a police officer. Police officer guns him down 11 times, 11 shots, kills him, but the live is still up. And the police officers are joking around, having a good time. Well, that's another closed casket. That's how they think about us.
Seen that.
That's what got me that night when I hit my brothers up. That's the night. That's when the anger. That's when the anger came up. They gunned man down 11 times. Maybe 2 weeks ago. Gunned him down. Bow, 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 bow. He was on the run. They was chasing him. 11 times, gunned him down. Then the live catches the conversation that's going on. And the cops are, what's his name? And the laughing, joking. Well, John, that's another closed casket.
Yo.
That's how they see us. So how do we change that? And another thing, don't want to continue going on a rant. I know this is very heavy, but this is a conversation I've had with a couple people now in the Black community, in the white community, and I need to help people understand to squash this. It's so easy to see violence against Black people And everyone wants to say, what about black on black crime? Everyone wants to say, oh, well, we need to fix what's happening in our community in order for other people to look at us differently, in order for this violence to stop. And I tell you guys this now, it's a very dangerous take you guys are saying. It's a very dangerous thing that you're spewing into the world by saying things like that. Speaking to people in our community, people outside of our community, they can try to use that as their excuse all they want. No, not focused on them right now. People in our community, yes, we understand there's a lot we can do in our community to improve. Obviously, violence against each other is wrong and needs to be changed. But please understand one thing. Black on black crime does not equate to white supremacists and police brutality. They are not the same issue. Being gunned down in the street and speaking about how we can help our community are not the same take. And when you spew that, it goes back to wiring what is wrong with us. What are we doing wrong? We are not doing wrong. There's a lot great things going on in the community. At the end of the day, it's how they view us and how they've always viewed us. So the black on black take, and I don't want to go on more. We can have that topic for another, like if we really want to have that conversation, we can make it a whole nother podcast. I don't want to go on a tangent. But that black on black take, guys, people, please listen. Be very smart about how you use take, because it's very dangerous.
That story, I didn't even know that Facebook Live. That got my head twisted.
That said he was a U.S. veteran as well.
That got my head twisted because I didn't even know that was out there, that existed. I personally have a thing on my side. The news is depressing. The news is a very depressing thing, but stories like that and Ahmed, they're out there. They're out there. And then what you were just talking about, not to just keep going back and forth on that too, but like, in a sense, people who come out and say that, well, the black on black crime, like I want to say it's like a cop out in a sense.
Super.
Like, to make a comment like that, I mean, like you said, Marv, you said it perfect. It's not the same. Excuse me, like, coming from somebody who, from the city, I've been around seeing, black on black, it's not the same. It's not the same. And people shouldn't view it like that. If you're one to say, I know that, these police officers and white supremacists, whatnot, are gunning the black men down, but, they're doing that to each other too. Like, it sounds stupid. It doesn't make sense. It makes sense. It's not the same at all. And that shouldn't be your take when it comes to that. I just think in general, I mean, it's tough. I come from upbringing, most of us come from upbringings. Violence ain't the answer, man. Like, it's not the answer. And it's not the answer. You don't want to go through your life violent and revengeful and want to get vengeance on different things. But at the same time, as I say that, people are human. People are human. And being human, we're all, guilty of making mistakes and doing wrong and left, right. And you could try to be as peaceful as you want. But if, again, like an example I gave earlier, if you just keep getting poked and bothered and harassed and poked and bothered and harassed, there's some people out there, they can take it. They can take it and, go by it and be fine. Like, it doesn't bother them. But there's also some people out there that you do something enough, you can't take it no more, something's going to happen back to you. Simple as that.
Daft saying they used to make us out to be animals to excuse us for not getting the rightful justice deserved, and that's what it is. It takes videos. It takes videos for us to get any sense of type of justice of what's going on. Last example for people who don't know another story. This is a woman, a black woman named Breonna Taylor. God rest her soul. Maybe a week or two ago, like I said, this is a trending thing during this quarantine. A week or two ago, police officers looking for someone else who they had in custody, by the way, break into a home that did not, with mistaken identity, whatever, did not belong to the person they was looking for, and shot and killed a woman, black woman, Breonna Taylor. Until this day, right now, this officer is out living about his life. He hasn't been arrested. Nothing's been happening just because he mistakenly thought it was another person. But because it's a black life, a black woman, her life doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you messed up, broke into a house, killed her, and you can just move on with yours because she's a black woman. So if you don't understand why we yell Black Lives Matter, you don't understand the frustration that we have when it comes to this. Read these stories. These are not hashtags. These are real life people getting their lives taken away because of the color of their skin.
Tough times right now. You know what I mean? Just on a I think during quarantine time, stuff like that. I mean, that's those situations. Just crime, violence in general during quarantine. People just supposed to be inside of their freaking house. Not diminish anything about these stories and whatnot, but like in place out there. People getting shot up, shot at. Whether it's police doing it, whether it's other people doing it to each other. These stories, situations, I mean, it's just sad all around. Sad all around, man. You think this is a time now where people, whether you're a common folk, whether you're a police officer, the value of life should be at an all-time high right now. Because as a world, as a society, we're all suffering through something together. We're all suffering through something together. So you think the value of life would be at an all-time high. We talk, when quarantine, whatever's over, you just can't wait to be out and just celebrate life. Celebrate that, in a sense, we made it through this. Obviously, there's people out there who, family, friends, loved ones are being affected by what's going on right now with COVID-19. And life should just be valued at all-time high. Not just your own life, obviously, but the fact that, there's people out there who are struggling through this, and there's people out here who have made it through, and we're here. We're still here. There's people that you can love, care for, that you can still hold on to, that's next to you. It's so much to talk about, dive into, man, and
we'll definitely have time to really
continue conversation that can go on.
Continue this story. The story is not done. The fight is not over. I mean, because at the end of the day, this is starting to become a fight for our life, and they put us in this situation. So, be very vigilant. Be very aware of your surroundings right now. Just understand that, even in 2020, whatever is going on with all the awareness that has been taking place, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So be very careful. Be close to the ones that are close to you. Stick together. That's the message I could say right now off of just raw emotion.
I don't want to go back to I don't want to keep diving in, but the more I just keep thinking about all the stories are crazy, but the Ahmed, story itself. These guys were looking for a robbery suspect. Obviously, the person we were looking for was a black male. Whether it was Aubrey, no matter who it was, you telling me the way you want to go about going after that person is by tackling them down and gunning them down?
And having it on camera.
That was your plan. Like rest in peace to Aubrey for sure. But your plan was to go about the streets and find this suspect and kill them.
And report it and show to your buddies and have a good time a good time.
We keep saying this stuff like, oh, really could have been anybody. Like with these situations, oh man, it could have been it. Really that situation there specifically really could have been anybody. Because these father and son combination just had it in mind. We're gonna go find this black suspect and we're gonna kill him. That man, that just came back to my head random while I just sitting here. That these dudes had it in their mind. No matter the situation, we're gonna go find whoever this suspect is, and we taking their life today.
Premeditated murder, bro.
I'm telling you. I know a long time ago on the Double M, we had a conversation about death penalty and capital punishment and all of that. You just said it. That's premeditated murder. Whatever the state law, whatever it is, they got to get whatever's the worst of the worst on the list of laws in that state. I don't know what it is, but okay, all right.
It's tough, bro. It's not an easy conversation, and I want to dive in more. I want to dive in more into this on another day, and we can really. I wish we weren't in quarantine because I would love to have a panel, really dive in, and really try to.
Oh, this would be a great panel talk, man.
Really try to, because this isn't right. This isn't right, and this is not going to be the end of us talking about it or making moves about this. Because, like I said, man, I wear my Malcolm X hat with pride. By any means necessary, we gonna fight for our life, and I mean that shit with all my heart. This is not the end. I don't care who it is. We gotta go to freaking police. No way we can let this continue on and on. They tried to cut us off. The government cut us off.
What they say?
They said trying to reconnect. So long.
Let us know in the comments if you still see us on the YouTube. I don't know what kind of messages popped up here, but let us know if you still got us coming in.
They try to chop me. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
All right. So, like I said, we're gonna continue this. This is just the beginning of talks. I want to end this on a better note. How we started off this show. And another reason just to celebrate life, man. Mr. Mike Nice, you're still here, bro. You're still breathing. You still thriving.
By the grace of God, bro.
You're still about to do a lot of great things in this life. Mechanic season is upon us. Just want to say here on Double M, bro, love you. I'm glad you're my partner through this. I'm glad that we're gonna have a lot more memories through Double M and through life. We're not gonna let this negativity slow our progress. We're gonna take this negativity, throw it in their face, and we're gonna continue to do great things. You got great people around you, bro. And this week, we're gonna do whatever it takes to celebrate your life and life in general, even during these quarantine times.
I appreciate it, man. Through this that we're doing with the quarantine, Double M, different things happening, tag team partner through this. I appreciate all that you're doing, continue doing. Got much love for the family, friends, loved ones I have out there. I'm grateful, not to really dive in on my life story or anything like that. But when you hear what people say, you got people, homies, friends, who are no longer here with you. over the last couple of years, especially, especially when it comes around my birthday, that's something that pops up in my mind a lot. That people that I know personally, grew up with, can call, good friends to me or whatnot. They're no longer here with us. I think that's just something that maybe comes along with age and just growth and maturity and whatnot. You just think about, people you have in your life, people you do no longer in your life. I'm just grateful and thankful. I say it all the time. I'm grateful and thankful to just be here. And every time, my birthday season comes around, these last couple of years, with people in my life have been wild and crazy and enjoyable.
Ain't shit gonna change this year.
But the thing, if you know me, if you really know me, when it comes to my birthday, yes, I'm happy. It's my birthday, cool. But I just want everybody to have a good time and celebrate, not just me, but just the fact that, sometimes I can just bring people together and just have a good time no matter what, no matter the location, no matter, when, where, what. I just like to bring people together and have a good time and celebrate just life in general. My life, I'm thankful, but I just want everybody to celebrate life in general. And yes, it's unfortunate that it's in quarantine times and, everybody's in their own space right now, but I believe we'll still find a way and it's going to be a good time.
Yes, sir. Once again, thank y'all for sticking with us in an extended version of Double M. In the crib, to the left, you got Mr. Mike Nice.
Yeah.
DJ Mees, man. Appreciate all you guys.
Mechanic season
is on the way. Sam says he's got his fit coming in the mail. It's no joke.
Fit?
It's no joke.
Bring out your PJs, Sam. Just pajama pants and a sweater or something.
Shout out to you, Dirk. Shout out to you, Sam. Shout out to you, Dav. Appreciate all you guys, man. You're all the realists. We out of here.
See y'all soon. Mechanic.